Hello, bitches, besties, and bros, and welcome to the very first episode of Dumb Bitch Fitness. My name is Cassidy Fazio. If you don't know me and you just happen to find this on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, wherever, and you don't follow me on social media already, and this is the first time you're seeing me, my name is Cassidy Fazio. I'm 21 years old, and welcome to my podcast where I'm going to be simplifying any and all things health and fitness related. I am a fitness and nutrition coach, as well as just longtime fitness enthusiast, bodybuilder. I don't know what else you could call me, really. But my goal with this podcast is to entertain and hopefully teach you a little bit more about health and fitness topics that you didn't know before. This first episode is just going to be getting to know me, introducing myself, my background, where I'm at my health and fitness journey, where I started, and where the idea for this podcast came from, as well as my plans for this podcast. So, first and foremost, I want to give you a little background on where this idea came from. And long story short, I just thought of it one morning and I rolled with the idea. I told my friends, my family, my coworkers, I told everyone that I had this idea for a podcast and I'm going to call it Dumb Bitch Fitness. There's going to be an asterisk at the bottom of the cover art that says subject to your opinion. And no one really got it, but it made sense in my head. Doesn't make sense now to people. I still don't know, but I guess you can be the judge of that. But anyway, I just started to realize that the simple topics of health and fitness are still not so simple to the everyday person. And I think that I am capable and felt drawn to talk about and teach you and simplify just different aspects of health and fitness that very often get overcomplicated, especially on social media. So here I am. By the way, if you're listening to this and would rather watch it, you can watch it on YouTube. Just search Dumb Bitch Fitness and hopefully you can find it. I'm saying this as if I already have like a YouTube channel and stuff. I just don't, but I will once this comes out, hopefully, right? Right. So today is January 9th, 2023. I had the idea for this podcast June like 10th of 2022. So literally over 6 months. And you're probably thinking, okay, so why did it take you 6 months to get started? Well, there's this phrase that I often fall victim to called paralysis by analysis. And basically, I was being scared, and I'm the first person to tell someone, like, oh, it shouldn't be perfect at the beginning. Like, just go do it. When you have an idea, just jump on it and just get started, and you'll figure it out along the way. I'm the first person to tell people that, but here I was 6 months ago. Didn't think it was the right time to start. Haha, funny. Didn't think I was smart enough to talk about health and fitness or quote unquote qualified enough. The first day, the day I had the idea for this podcast, I had the name, I had a vision for the cover art and everything. I booked a photo shoot with a photographer that I knew could see my vision with this. And literally, I asked her if we could shoot that weekend. It was like the beginning of the week. I asked her if we could shoot that weekend. And she was down. So I was like, okay, good. Because I know myself. I've done this before. I mean, this is coming from the girl that has wanted to start a YouTube channel since she was like probably 10 and just never has. But basically, I knew if I didn't do something right away that I just was never going to do it. So I booked the photo shoot, did the photo shoot June 18th, I think, got the pictures back like a month later, made the cover art, and during like that month I was researching different lighting, which is what I have here now. Different microphones and softwares that I should be using. And Then I recorded the first episode 3 different times within the past 6 months. This is my fourth and final time recording the very first episode. So, yeah, basically I just was waiting for the perfect time. And I'm the first person to tell someone that there is no right time to start, especially when it comes to health and fitness, honestly. So, I just really needed to take my own advice because, you know, it was just never perfect enough. I could have just started recording literally in my room, but no, I had to get a whole ass setup. I had to paint the walls, I had to get the correct lighting, I had to buy a $2,000 camera so I could put it on YouTube. I had to make sure that my hair was curled perfectly, had to make sure that I had a fresh set of nails, fresh set of lashes. My makeup had to be right, all that bullshit that at the end of the day does not matter. I mean, it's the first episode. Like, this episode is supposed to be the worst ever, so kind of just telling myself that, it's only up from here. If we start low, we can only go up. So basically, here I am. I curled my hair like 6 hours ago, so it isn't curled anymore. Even though a majority of the people I don't think are even gonna watch this on YouTube. I think they're just gonna listen to it. So again, it doesn't even matter. If you're listening to this, you probably don't even know what I look like. So let me paint a picture for you. Hair has been curled for 6 hours, aka it is not curled anymore. I have approximately 8 acrylic nails on. I have 2.5 lash extensions on my left eye, and approximately 4.5 on my right eyelash lash line. And I hate how my makeup turned out today. So that's that. And also, I would record and I would try to say the same line 100,000 times in a row instead of just saying it how I would normally say it. And then I was like, oh, maybe I need a script. Like, I can't, like, it's hard to sit here and talk, especially for like 30 minutes to an hour. So, even though I love to talk. So, I don't know. I was just having a mental block, and then I was scared I was gonna say the wrong thing, and then I started thinking, like, who gives me the right to, like, have a podcast? Like, I don't know enough about health and fitness. Like, it was a lot of imposter syndrome too. Basically, I didn't want to give anyone the wrong information, or I didn't think I'd be able to communicate clearly and simply different topics in health and fitness. And I just want to make sure that I'm giving the right information. And, it was just a lot of like back and forth and just not being very self confident, even though I am a pretty confident person. I was thinking that I was saying and so and like too much, but I say like, and I say so a lot in real life. So if you don't like that, then you might want to find a different podcast. I also curse a lot, so sorry about that. Sorry, not sorry, honestly. But since I knew that I kept doing that over and over again when I was recording the first episode the first 3 times, I decided to make a little bullet point document on my laptop so that I could just reference it and make sure that I'm, not going off track and kind of just keeping the flow going. I want to say that this audio might not be perfect. The lighting might not be perfect. I'm not perfect. So I just want to say that I'm still learning. I mean, I'm 21 years old. I don't know everything about everything, but I do know that I know enough to help you and help a lot of people out there. So that's all I aim to do. And if this could help if one person could be helped per episode, then I'm okay with it. So I'm not going to beat around the bush and pretend like I know everything. If I don't know something, I'm going to say I don't know. And before I go into depth about any topic, I'm going to make sure that I understand it thoroughly myself. I'm going to do more research if I don't understand it or don't know about it. And I just want to make sure that I know enough to draw my own opinion on something also and be able to back up that opinion with research and different people's outlooks and perspectives of it. So that's that. The best part about this podcast is that I'm expecting 3 people to listen to this. So that kind of makes me feel better about recording it because the 3 people that listen to this already know me in real life, so I won't be scared for them to hear me talk or, how I sound or look, because they already know. They already know. Keep in mind, I'm new here, so the lighting might not be the best, the audio might be the best. I don't know anything about audio whatsoever or video. So hopefully the video quality should be good, but I don't know if I got the whole lighting and contrast and this and that. I don't know if a gray background with a black chair, also with me wearing white and gray, was a good idea, but this is my favorite color and this is the aesthetic I was going for, so I'm doing my best here, honestly. Now I want to talk a little bit about my health and fitness journey, where I started, how I got here, where I want to go, and basically how I found my passion of health and fitness and specifically teaching people about health and fitness. So, when I was growing up, I was always told that I should model because I was the just genetically tall, skinny white girl with blonde hair and blue eyes. So I got into the modeling industry with a modeling agency, I guess, when I was, I want to say like 12 to 14. I'm thinking like 12, like 8th grade. So however old you are in 8th grade. It was a local small agency. Haha, this is a story for a different time, but ended up being basically a scam. But obviously, I didn't know that at the time, so I would flex that I was a model so hard too. Like, ooh, when I got new test photos done, I was posting those on Instagram. But anyway, besides the point. So, the summer after I graduated high school, I decided, well, I guess this agency decided that I was quote unquote ready to go international. I decided that fall of the year I graduated high school, this was 2019, I was going to travel to Greece on a modeling contract by myself, fresh out of high school, 18 years old, with this other girl that I had never met at the time who had the same agent. And we were gonna go over there, live there for 2.5 months, and basically just live as full-time models. Before I go to Greece, I know that I do not have quote unquote the right measurements to be a high fashion model. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do high fashion modeling. So I thought if I just dropped a bunch of weight that I could get these quote unquote model measurements. Keep in mind I was like 122 pounds probably, maybe 125, but I don't know. I wanted to be 115 pounds so badly. I don't know why. Keep in mind I'm 5'9". I was at that time too. I'm very tall and was already very skinny. But my hips are very wide. I have genetically wide hips. So literally, even if I did lose those 10, 15, whatever pounds I thought I needed to lose, my hips would still be too wide. And I confirmed this because when I dieted for my bodybuilding show 2 years later, my hips still were never the quote unquote right measurements. So 100 days before I was leaving for Greece, I decided I was gonna make this long list of rules and things I was gonna do and things I couldn't do or couldn't eat in order to try and drop this weight. And in my mind, I was like, it's temporary. I'll just, eat the least amount of food I possibly can. I'll intermittent fast. I'll do 2 hours of cardio every single day on the treadmill because that's just what I have to do. This is what the Victoria's Secret Angels do. This is what needs to be done in order to get this body. So these 3 months before I'm going to go to Greece, I have a lot of free time because, I had a job at the end of high school going into the summer after high school, but I can't remember why I wasn't working. Maybe I took time off, um, since I was gonna have to take the time off to go to Greece anyway, so whatever, it doesn't matter. So the first, like, 1, 2, 3 months, out from going to Greece, I had a lot of free time on my hands, and I basically just got consumed by health and fitness. Here was my daily routine at the time. Around 8 or 9 a.m., I would go with my mom to the gym, and ironically enough, she had a personal trainer, and she would lift weights with the personal trainer, and during that hour she was lifting weights, I would walk on the treadmill at an incline for an hour. If I had some extra time when my mom was on the treadmill, I would go and do just like quote unquote model workouts. So, absolutely no weights. Well, I guess I'd use like 2.5 pound ankle weights so I could do donkey kickbacks and a lot of abs and basically just anything that would quote unquote tone my muscle and not make me quote unquote bulky. So then I would come home, we'd get home at like between like 10 and 11, and I was intermittent fasting. So I refused to eat a speck of food between well, no, I would only eat between 12 p.m. and 7 p.m., I think it was. So if I got home at 10 or 11, I literally would wait 1 to 2 hours before eating, even though literally 9 times out of 10, my stomach was grumbling because I was just so hungry because I just exercised. Of course, I'm going to be hungry. So a lot of the times, this is really sad, and I can't believe I actually did this. I would take a nap. So I'd get up, go to the gym, do that cardio and the model workout bullshit, come home, and then take a 1 to 2 hour nap so that I could wake up and eat instead of just eating breakfast like a normal person. But that was the headspace I was in. But it gets worse. So then at like 8 or 9 p.m., our roommate at the time was going to the same gym that I went to in the morning with my mom. So and he didn't have a car, so I would drive us to the gym. I would go again. I would go to the gym 2 times a day. Both times I would do cardio on an incline. I'd do an incline walk, and usually his training sessions, he was also lifting weights. Could you imagine how jacked I'd be if I just started lifting weights with them? Like, I wish. I wish. He would usually strength train for 1 to 2 hours, so, I'd put on a movie and I'd incline walk for 1 to 2 hours. However long it took him, took me. So, I was doing 2 hours of cardio a day. Since it was past 7 p.m. when we went to the gym, by the time we got home, it was out of my quote unquote eating window, and I just went to bed. I didn't eat again for the rest of the night. I didn't know about tracking calories or macros, I don't think yet, so I literally was just trying to eat quote unquote clean and the least amount of calories I possibly could. Basically, just depriving myself of like everything. I was eating healthy, so I was getting nutrient dense foods, but it was not enough to sustain what I was doing in the gym. Because a lot of like the model workouts are very like hit focused workouts too, so I was just exerting a lot of energy throughout the day and not replenishing my body at all or fueling it whatsoever. Imagine that I didn't lose weight and I actually ended up going to Greece, the heaviest I had ever been at the time. I think I was 130 the day before I left to Greece because I just started binging. And I'm sure if you've restricted before, it is not just like, oh, a fuck it moment. It's like an uncontrollable, like, I need to put food in my body right now. I don't care what it is. It is a fuck it moment in the sense that, like, you're just gonna eat any and everything because, tomorrow you're gonna quote unquote get back to it and start restricting again. And so this is your last free for all before you get quote unquote back on your diet. So that was like really hard for me because I already was clearly very insecure about my body, and just the fact that I had to now go be in a bathing suit, have people look at my body, be examined from head to toe, and basically be put in a position where people are looking for my flaws right off the bat. And I was the heaviest I had ever been at the moment. And I know you're thinking 130 pounds, like, okay, relax. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying I was fat, but when you're 122 and you're a model, and then you go to be a model and you're 130 pounds when you're used to being 122, and you're just in an awful mindset with food, and you're starving and you're tired and you aren't glowing, you look dead because you're so depleted. Yeah, it sucks. So I just want to let you know I've been there, done that. Thankfully, I've recovered from that, and hopefully, this podcast and just my other content on social media can inspire you to get out of that mindset. When you're in it, it seems like there's no getting out of it, but I just want to let you know that if I can do it, you can do it, and hopefully, I can help you do it. When I got back from Greece, I was basically traumatized. I always told people, I still do, that it was the best and the worst experience of my life. That's when I found out my modeling agency basically was a scam, and the person that we were over there with was just, oh my god, literally traumatizing. The things he did to us, like, he didn't do anything like not what you're thinking, but just like the situations he put us in were just super uncomfortable, and oh, I just cringe every time I think about it. I got back home in November or December of 2019, and we all know what came next, 2020. But before all that went down, I started getting more into nutrition and learning more about the idea that it's not always what you eat, it's how much you eat, and that underfueling your body is kind of the worst thing you can do if you're trying to lose weight, because it's going to start a repetitive cycle of restrict and binge, restrict and binge. So I made a pact to myself that I'm going to learn more about nutrition, and I'm going to quote unquote do this the right way, and I am gonna still lose the weight in 2020, and then I'm gonna say fuck my agency, and I'm gonna go by myself and find real good agencies, like legit agencies, because I knew it at that point, I knew it wasn't me. I knew it was my agency. So I just made this pact that, like, I can do this. Like, I can model, I can be an actress, I just need the right team behind me, and that's what I didn't have. Then, the whole panoramic shit happened, and I was stuck at home. There was no open casting calls. No one wanted to take new models on their agency, and I kind of had like a plateau year. I went to the gym. I like kind of started lifting weights because I had stopped for a while. Keep in mind, when I was 16, I got my license, and the first place I drove was to the gym to get my license, to get a membership, because I just was always drawn to fitness. I used to do at-home workouts during like the summer in like middle school and beginning of high school, and when I could finally drive, that's the first place I drove. It's actually the first place my boyfriend and I went on a date, or quote unquote a date. That's the first time we hung out outside of school. So yeah, that's like, I always had like this pull towards fitness. But back to what I was saying, I used to lift weights. So after or during the 2020 shit, I just like started going to the gym and just doing what I wanted at the gym. Lifting what I wanted, doing the cardio I wanted, which was like barely any at the time, because I was like, what's the point? Why am I gonna like try and starve and kill myself from the inside out if like no agencies are even trying to get any new models? So whatever, kind of just chilled for the year. And then towards the end of the year, like September, October, November, December, the last like quarter of the year, I found my coach, Paul Ravella, on YouTube, and for months I like watched his stuff. I like watched all his Instagram stories, and I remember like DMing with him, and I'm like, "Do you coach like newbies, like first time competitors?" Because I kind of found out about I didn't kind of, like I actually did find out about bikini bodybuilding from him, and I just pictured like a bikini competitor, strong, feminine, beautiful. I pictured it as like a muscle pageant in my mind, and the stage presence, all that kind of glitz and glam that I liked about the modeling industry, but with a healthy, vibrant, beautiful, strong physique rather than a dead looking corpse of a high fashion model. And I kind of fell in love with that, and I became obsessed with his content and everything he said about nutrition and fitness, and just looking at like the big picture of health and fitness really resonated with me. And I remember talking to him and being like, "Oh, do you coach like first time competitors?" Like I thought he was like wouldn't even like DM me back, but he did. And then November, December, I decided that I'm gonna hire him. I'm gonna give it a year. I'm gonna do my first bodybuilding show, and I'm just gonna see if this is what I like to do. So in December, I think it was like the very beginning of 2021, I signed on with him, and I remember talking to him on our um my first like coaching consultation. And I was saying, yeah, I'd love to do a show in like probably like March. I think like I could get ready by March or whatever. And thank God for Paul, because he told me straight up, he was nice about it, of course, but he was like, "Yeah, you could do a show in March, but I think you should take like a few months to grow. So let's aim for like late summer at least." Thank God he did, because looking back, I thought I had like the most muscular, like Jay Cutler quads, because that's how I was conditioned in the modeling industry. Like my legs and my butt was always too big. And I thought I just like had like the beefiest biceps and shoulders ever. Like I literally thought that like if I dieted it down, I would look like Laura Lee Chapados, and I would like be the new Miss Bikini Olympia at my first show. So thank God he like set the record straight and was like, "No, we're gonna take a few months off to grow," and that's exactly what I did. Fell in love with the process, gave my prep my all, and then competed in my very first bikini competition in August of 2021. Fast forward 2022, I took that whole year, so like October 2021 to still currently now, January 2023, I've been in a growing improvement season. This is when, well, 2021, I got my nutrition coach and personal trainer certifications, and really just started becoming obsessed with health and fitness, and just the idea of helping people and teaching people everything that I know. And I just kind of made it my whole personality. I absolutely loved competing and the culture of bodybuilding, and I just really saw myself doing this for the long run. So I decided that this was my destiny, I guess. I don't know. But I committed to a very long off season and decided I don't want to come back until I could actually be competitive. My front post was, if I do say so myself, chef's kiss. My back pose, which if you know anything about bikini bodybuilding, is the shows are won from the back, that's what they say, and my glutes just weren't there. So, ironically, I thought I had the biggest butt in the world, and when I was modeling, all I wanted to do was get rid of that butt. Now, now that I'm bodybuilding, all I want is a big, fat muscle booty. So, you always want what you can't have. But back to my journey. In 2021, I decided that I wanted to get into personal training and nutrition coaching. So I got my personal trainer certification, my nutrition coach certification, but I kind of didn't really do anything with it because I work full time. So I kind of just wanted to get it and wanted to learn more. I really was just obsessed with learning any and everything I could about health, fitness, nutrition, all of that. But I started kind of surrounding myself so much with health and fitness, and it basically was my whole personality that I just assumed that everyone knew this stuff. So I was like, why is my mom asking me if carbs will make her fat? Why are my coworkers drinking ketones to get skinny? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. And then I was like, oh, I'm stuck in a bubble. A health and fitness gym rat, resistance training specialist, certification bodybuilder, science-based coach bubble where everyone knows that eating carbs won't make you fat, and that's common knowledge. Basically, everything I learned and knew and believed about health and fitness, I just assumed everyone else knew and learned and was on the same page with. But really, I was just in a bubble, and it was just so second nature to me that I couldn't believe that my mom was asking me if carbs would make her fat and if she should do keto for the 47th time. So that's when I learned that there is a space for me to teach people what I know. I may not know everything, like I said before, but I know enough. I know enough. I know enough to help people to get them where they want to be, or at least teach them the concepts so that they can kind of rewire this diet culture, old-fashioned way of dieting and health and fitness and fad diet, Atkins, keto, this, that mindset, restriction mindset, really, to help them actually reach the goals that they've always wanted and can't seem to figure out how. Because the thing about health and fitness, it's so simple that it is so easy for big companies, social media, people trying to make money, whoever it may be. It's so easy for them to twist it and give you a quote unquote quick fix and sell you something that doesn't matter if it works or not. They can spew a bunch of science at you, and you, as the consumer, will believe it and buy it, regardless if it works or not, because they say it does. So you're gonna spend your money on it, and if it doesn't work, you'll probably buy it again because they tell you to. Now I'm at a point I just want to kind of diffuse all the bullshit. I want to make health and fitness simple because that's what it is. I like to say, especially when it comes to dieting, it's simple but not easy. So hopefully through my experiences and just helping people in my life and clients, I can teach you for free ways to make it more of a lifestyle, ways to kind of erase that toxic mindset around food and exercise, and basically just look at the big picture and just let you know that it's okay. I want to make health and fitness so simple that a child could understand it, so that's what I plan to do. I want to do at least one episode a week. I'm thinking 30-minute episodes. I think that's a good medium. Maybe if it's a very in-depth topic or even an interview, it'll go a little longer. Basically, every week I'm going to be talking about a new topic, explaining it, simplifying it, and debunking different bullshit around the topic. Literally, you name it, I'll talk about it. If you have any specific topics that you would like to learn about or me give my opinion on, slide in my DMs. If you don't follow me already on other social medias, you can follow me anywhere and watch me practice what I preach at Built by Cass on all social medias. I'm most active on TikTok and Instagram, I'd say. I want to get on the YouTube game because, girl's been putting off YouTube for like 10 years of her life. Thank you so much for listening to the very first episode of Dumb Bitch Fitness. I'm so appreciative that you took the time out of your day to listen to me, learn about me and my health and fitness journey. And I hope from here on out, I can help you on your health and fitness journey. As always, if you have any questions, comments, requests, slide in my DMs at Built by Cass on Instagram. I'm not 100% sure what you're supposed to do on podcasts, but if you're watching this, make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. And leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts if that's where you're listening to this. And maybe download this on Spotify. I'm not really sure. I will look into that though. You may think I'm dumb, you might think I'm a bitch, but as always, that's subject to your opinion. Bye!